welcome everyone to the V3 implementation call. Today is December 8th. We appreciate you being here with us today. As a reminder, these videos are recorded and they are posted on our website and on our YouTube channel for you to refer to later or to share with others on your team who may need some of the information that we go over. We appreciate you being here with us today. These are conversations. So as we go through the topics, if you've got questions, comments, feedback, please feel free to unmute or use the chat feature and speak up and contribute. One of the true values of these meetings is the group that we're able to pull together. You guys being here together, it's just such a great opportunity for so many experienced people, and a lot of great back and forth can occur with this group of people. So we appreciate your input. I will go ahead and move to the agenda. It is a short agenda today. And we'll start off, there's no scheduled maintenance in December. Laurel, was there anything you wanted to add to that?
No, but if anyone has questions, please feel free to shoot me an email or a message in the chat.
Hey, this is Karen. I'm going to ask a question.
Okay.
I know, Laurel, you're like, seriously? Yes. So on the emails that states get, we saw not this past week as much as the week before. It appeared that when the warehouse updated, so not related to maintenance, but to updating of the warehouse, that some of the submission email summaries indicated that the data had not processed yet. I'm just checking to make sure that all of those PCRs that were submitted, that those XML files have actually processed now into the warehouse.
Yes, they have. We had a little hiccup late last week and some processing was delayed, and it did end up reflected on those reports. But by the time the reports actually reached everyone's email address, those records had been processed. So it's all good now.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Karen. Any other questions for Laurel? All right. Next on our, well, Laurel's next on our agenda. She gets, it's the Laurel show for a few minutes for update to the compliance policy for the closure of 334.
All right. Forgot I had that topic too. So as you're all aware, we recently stopped accepting 334 files in September. And as a part of doing that, we realized that we needed to update our compliance policy to address 334 compliance as well. Because we no longer offer 334 compliance and we no longer receive 334 files, we have changed our policy to state that any NHTSA version that's no longer accepted at the NHTSA at the national level will no longer have a valid compliance certification available. So if you visit the NHTSA website under Technical Resources Compliance, you can see these updates in the V3 compliance document, which is the second link from the top of the page. And there's just a new paragraph that's been added under policy. And I'll just go ahead and read it off. And then if there are any questions, I'll gladly take them.
So Laurel, could you go there and show folks just exactly what that paragraph is? It just might be helpful.
Yeah. I can't share my screen while Julianne is sharing.
I will stop share so you can share.
Thanks. Okay. So from the NHTSA homepage, Technical Resources Compliance. Second link, Compliance Policy. And then in the policy section, we have this paragraph that's been added. Once the NHTSA TAC has closed a prior version of the standard, all compliance certifications for that version are considered expired. As of September 1st, 2021, the only current versions of the NHTSA standard for which compliance certifications are offered are 340 and 350. So going along with that, on the testing status page, if you visited this recently, you might have noticed that our dropdown no longer has a 334 option. All of the companies that were listed as 334 compliant are no longer on this page. We do have a list somewhere, but we're not making that publicly available on the website any longer, as that version of the standard is done and we are all moving forward to 3.5. And I think that was the bulk of what we needed to cover here. If anyone has any questions about this, please, again, drop something in the chat or send us an email, or feel free to ask right now. All right, I'll pass it back to you, Julianne.
All right. Thank you, Laurel. Next on our agenda, Monet is going to spend a few minutes with us talking about best practices for submission lag.
Season's greetings and happy holidays to everyone. Please excuse my voice. I am fighting a cold. I will review the submission lag best practices document, as Julianne mentioned, but before I discuss the document, I want to describe the history of the topic briefly. During the 2020 NHTSA annual meeting, data submission lag was an agenda topic. Here at the TAC, we have been monitoring the submission lag concerns for some time. In 2020, we conducted breakout groups during the annual meeting so stakeholders interested in the topic could help us articulate the barriers and the solutions. So in summary, we were asked to take certain steps, and I've identified 3 steps that we took. First, we were asked to identify state requirements for submissions, and we did that by creating a survey, and states responded with information related to their state rules about submissions. We learned that 24 states require PCR submissions within 24 hours. The second step we were asked to take is to provide a target timeframe for timeliness of data reception. And we did that by requesting a letter from the NHTSA's Office of EMS to support this request. The third item that we were asked to take care of is to address the issue of pushing out schematron rules without advance notice to agencies. And we did that by providing a best practices document for updating state resources. As we wrap up the 2021 calendar year and move on to 2022, we are hopeful that additional resources in the form of a submission lag best practices document, dashboards, and the letter of support from NHTSA's Office of EMS will help us improve the EPCR submission lag issue. We currently do not have that document on the website, but we will send it out after this call or sometime during this week, so you have an opportunity to review the document, make comments and suggestions for improvement. I'm going to cover the document with you briefly this morning. So currently the document, and I'm not going to read all 4 pages, I'm just going to provide a summary of the content. The first paragraph, the NHTSA's TAC is dedicated to assisting state and territory data managers with assessing the timeliness of electronic patient care submissions from state EMS systems to the NHTSA's repository. In the second paragraph, the last sentence is the reference to the letter of support from Dr. John Kramer, the director of NHTSA's Office EMS, regarding the timely data submissions. And this letter is currently on the website, and we'll show you where that's located. I want to talk about the definition for submission lag. It's the delayed period when EPCR data is received from the local EMS agency, submitted to the state system, then successfully received and processed into the national EMS data repository. Why is this an issue? As evidenced during the COVID-19 response, timely data submission has a significant impact on the ability of states and territories and NHTSA's Office of EMS to appropriately assess and respond to immediate pre-hospital needs, such as resources, staffing, policies, protocols, and the safety of EMS clinicians. I'm going to skip down to the last paragraph. We have created resources, and we currently have 2 state resources or 2 state dashboards that will help us identify submission lag. Page 2 describes the first submission lag dashboard. The link is listed here. It's also listed on the state reports pages. There's also a user guide as well, a link to this document. In summary, what you're seeing here, or what you will see once you open this submission lag dashboard, you will see the top 20 worst performing agencies related to submission lag times and the top 20 best performing agencies. You will also have an opportunity to select the EMS agency selector box and choose any agency that you want to review their submission times. Now, in order to utilize this tool, you will need a NHTSA account. And this NHTSA account is primarily for the use of state data managers, EMS directors, EMS medical directors, and appropriate staff within your office. The second dashboard is the V3 data submission dashboard. And this dashboard actually, many of the state managers receive this dashboard on a weekly basis. This is the report Karen was referencing shortly, or a little while ago. This dashboard actually can be, and as well as all the other dashboards, you can subscribe to these dashboards so that they're automatically pushed into your email box on a weekly basis. On this particular dashboard, on the accepted PCR detail tab, you will see a box below in the section of patient care reports process where it describes the type of submission lag your state is experiencing. In this box, you will see that we receive here on a national level, 25% of the data comes in within 26.6 hours. That's approximately a day. And 50% of the records come in within 82.5 hours, approximately 3 days. And then 75% of the records come in within 8 days or 201 hours. The third page of this document, or actually I'm on the 4th page of this document, describes in summary some of the recommendations to address best practice or to address submission lag. We're asking data managers to review your state reports. So we're encouraging you to subscribe to these dashboards so that you can review these reports on a weekly basis. Number 2, we're asking data managers to work with your local EMS agencies to adhere to the timeliness requirements per state rules and regulations. Number 3, we're asking the agency managers to identify the barriers. The state managers should work with their agency managers to identify barriers of timeliness as it relates to the Q&A review process. Number 4, some states will have validity score issues, and we're asking that you review and modify those scoring systems so that the data can be released. Number 5, we're encouraging agencies to submit PCR early. They can be resubmitted if changes are made or duplicates are made. They're automatically overwritten. And number 6, on occasion, EMS agencies receive errors and warnings from their field software products. We have a web services API, and those errors can be resubmitted back to the submitting system. There's more information about this in this link here if you want to review this information and share this information with your agencies. I know that was a pretty quick summary. I would like to entertain any questions at this time.
Monet, this is Brenda. You're going to make this available on the website under the resources, or where is it going to be?
Yes, ma'am. Initially, we're going to send it out to you directly via the Google group so that you have an opportunity to look at it, dissect it, make comments, suggestions for improvement. And once we have, I believe, a pretty short turnaround time, we would like to have this posted on the website by the end of this month. So Julianne will send this information out. We'll solicit the comments and advice for suggestions, and then we'll post it on the website and let you know that location.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Monet, and this is Clay. Yeah, thanks for the question, Brenda. I'm thinking it'll probably be posted on the NEMSIS 101 page. We'll talk about where best to put it. We'll make sure the folks know about that, where it's located on this call. We'll let folks know. I did want to Monet highlighted what is something that we probably should just turn into a kudos and really thank the states for their hard work. We've been talking about this, as Monet mentioned. Could you actually unmute your microphone, Monet? We're getting a little bit of feedback, if you'd be so kind. And as Monet mentioned, we have been working with the state data managers, kind of talking about this issue, how best to approach it. And during the height of the pandemic, we were seeing submission lags to reach having about 75% of the records that occur in any given day was really, we didn't receive those records for 2 to 3 weeks, and even longer than 3 weeks for several months, while things were kind of so difficult for everyone getting used to providing pre-hospital care during the pandemic. But as Monet mentioned, that 75% marker, having 75% of the records that occur in any given day, is now down to 8 days, which is just heroic. So again, we thank all the data managers and clearly all of the practitioners and clinicians in the field that are working so hard to close those records quickly. Going from 3 weeks to have 75% of the records to 8 days is just a monumental. So I wanted to make sure and call that out. Thanks, Monet.
Thank you, Clay. I did want to show you briefly where the letter, if you have not yet had an opportunity to read the letter from Dr. Kramer, we have that letter on the homepage of the NEMSIS website under latest news. You can click on the letter here, and you can share this letter with others in your office. And with that, unless there are any other questions, please send us questions and emails, and if you need to call. But we're definitely wanting to address any questions you have about this. And as Clay mentioned, I certainly appreciate all the effort that you guys put in, both state managers as well as software vendors. Many of you have heard from me often this year, and I am so grateful for your efforts. I know that you're completely overwhelmed, so thank you so much for all you do.
Yeah, Monet,
Go ahead, Clay.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was, you were probably going to do the same thing. I was going to call attention to the chat. Caitlin from Angel Track asked a great question. Maybe, Monet, this is the next level of kind of detail that we could provide that could be helpful, right? I think there are several reasons why why states may want to hold records before submitting them. And Caitlin brings up a great point about allowing for a QA period. I think there's several states that have kind of defined that. We could certainly kind of dig into that a little bit more, perhaps with a follow-up survey among data managers to kind of better understand how they view that and how that sits in light of the idea that records can be overwritten. Am I missing anything, Caitlin? I think the ideas are good. We could certainly delve into that a little bit more and kind of understand that process a little better. Okay, great. Yeah, thank you, Caitlin. Appreciate that. We'll take stock of that. We're going to talk right after this call and see if if we can kind of organize something. I agree with that. It would be great to understand a little bit better those states that choose to have a process in place for finalizing record before submission. So we'll take a look into that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your comments in chat and also in the discussion. We appreciate that. Let me share the screen again with the agenda. Next on our list is items from Office of EMS. Eric, that is you.
I don't have anything specific today other than to say happy holidays to everyone and ask that you be safe, take care of yourself and your families. And I know all of you have been working like crazy over the year. So please take some time off, enjoy yourself, get some rest and relaxation in, and come back next year ready to go.
Any questions for Eric? All right. We have no training in December. We're taking a month off from the public trainings for this month. Our next meeting will be December 22nd and then into the new year for January. Same time, same place. The Technical Assistance Center has some holiday closure dates. So just keep in mind those closures when you're scheduling for your compliance testing. That's the biggest impact that it has to those. Are there any questions, comments, or issues? I totally skipped over open forum, so I want to make sure everybody has the opportunity to bring up a topic or an issue that they would like discussed in this setting. Cherie Murphy, I apologize to put you on the spot, but I wonder if you would speak for just a minute on the webinar that NHTSA is doing. I believe is it tomorrow for the NHTSA webinar?
Yeah, it is. Thanks, Julianne. Yeah, we have made some updates to the existing NHTSA measures based on, some of them based on the version 3.5 updates and some of the pseudocode being needing to be adjusted for that. So that call is tomorrow. Sorry, we're in various time zones, so my telling you the time might not be that helpful, but it is 4 Eastern. So whatever that turns out to be for your time zone. There is a registration. Maybe we can send that out to the group after this call, or is there a way to send that out?
Sure, we can send that out.
Okay. Great. So we'll talk about what those updates are for the existing measures and some of the updates that we'll see coming down the pike in the near future and more long term.
All right. Thank you, Cherie. Appreciate you promoting that. Any other questions, comments, issues? All right. I think we're good. We're going to go ahead and call it. It was a pretty quick meeting. Thank you. Appreciate you guys all being with us today, taking time out of your busy schedules. We know that you are insanely busy. So thank you for being here, for speaking up, providing your comments and feedback. We truly appreciate that. Thank you, everyone. Be safe out there and have a great day.